So starting off again, just checking to see if you could still hear me. So starting off again, sorry again for this whole mess up. Starting off again, I'll do a quick and short introduction of the GDN, and then I'll jump into the different Google audience targeting solutions that we've got. And after that, a small little quick demo. Right? Now, to begin, once again, reaching the right customers at the right moments is really critical for us as for brands and of course in advertising. We are living in a world of moments because now every time you want to know about anything, whether it is how to make a new dish, whether it is, hey, I need to book a taxi, or I saw a really nice advertisement on TV, or I saw a really good ad in the magazine, I want to read up a little more about the product, about the feature. Right? We've got so many moments since consumers unlock their phones around 150 times per day. That is a ton of moments for us to keep, for us to have the opportunity to go and interact with our customers. These are the three important questions that we see. Right? How do I make sense of every moment? Are they all equally important? Do I need to win each and every of them? Right? And the answers are no. Actually, you cannot make sense of each and every moment. Right? All of them are not equally important, and no, you don't need to win each and every one of them. But you need to make sure what is important for you as a brand, and go after just those ones and communicate with your users when you know they're interested in you. How do you figure that out? This is just a few examples to see the different moments that matter, right? And as we're saying this, micro moments are now battleground for brands. Jumping on to the Google audience targeting solutions, as everyone is aware, I'm hoping everyone in this room is aware that just give me a second. Let me just enable commenting on the new link. So what you guys can do is, you can try to see. Let me know if you can comment on the old link, but then watch it on the new link. Let me just try to fix this. Give me a second, guys. So sorry about this. So what we'll do, I know this is not the ideal scenario. I'm really sorry about this whole goof up. But what we could do is I'll continue with the deck, and if you could mail me your questions, let's do that. All of you can mail me your questions. I will send you a follow-up. I'll send you a follow-up form. Just put in your questions, and what I could do then is I will try to put it up on the comments on this Hangout. Or if you think there are still a few questions, I could take them in next week's Hangout session. I hope that works. Now, returning back to the deck, the GDN has 90% of all the websites across, right? So you can reach out to your users across different websites, right? Different genres, different times that they're interested in your product. And what we normally say is the GDN and audience targeting is cross-platform, it's cross-device, and it is based on real-time audience signals that helps us to reach over 90% of the global internet users. Now, let's dive into an example of, let's say you need to book you've got users, and you're trying to reach out to users who are flying from London to Paris and people who are looking to holiday in Paris. So this is how we would normally go about finding the right kind of user, right? You've seen that, okay, I need to start looking to book tickets from London to Paris. Then as a user, what you would end up doing is you would start reading articles, right? Insider's Guide to Paris, what's top 10 things I should do in Paris, start looking for the best museums, start watching basic French sayings, start visiting different travel sites to read about reviews, where should I go, where shouldn't I go, look at the top best restaurants in Paris. Post that, once you start going to the restaurant sites to book your appointments and reservations, that is when you can also look at conversions, right? When we talk about conversions, that is very, very specific, and that would lead us into remarketing as a strategy, which I will cover in detail next week, where we will talk about the different kinds of remarketing strategies you could do. Your normal remarketing, dynamic remarketing, which is quite intensive, and also how do you reach out to different people who've come to your site with different levels of the consideration funnel that they're in. Now, this is the entire breadth of the different targeting options you have on Google, especially on the Google Display Network. What I will cover today in detail would be under the awareness bucket. You look at affinity audiences, right? So I'll talk to you about how do we know whether someone is in your affinity audience, right? When you reach out to this person. Post that once you're looking at users in the consideration bucket, right? This is where I'll talk again in detail about custom affinity audiences, okay? And what you could definitely also do is your normal keyword targeting, a similar way that you reach out to users on search. You could do that on the GDN. And you have topic targeting, wherein you would say, hey, I'm only interested in showing my ads to users who are interested in entertainment as a topic, right? Now, post that once you go down the funnel where users are pretty close to the purchase funnel and they're really into the consideration funnel. I will talk in detail about these two, which is the similar audiences and the in-market audiences. And as mentioned before, next week, I will dive into remarketing completely, how you re-engage with existing site visitors, what are the different kind of strategies you can use, and how do you set those up. Now, coming to how we use data to influence the path to purchase, right? Now, most of the time, this is the kind of a user brief that we get. You want to look at a 30-year-old male who earns a certain amount a year, is a beach lover, and is planning his next vacation, right? So then what we would end up doing is, if the user regularly, this is how a user would end up going through different sites on the GDN. They would regularly read travel blogs, right? Or post that they would start browsing videos. Then they would start comparing prices. And then they would start reaching out to different hotel sites to view photos, right? Now, how does the GDN and how does our algorithm come into the picture? So once the user comes onto different travel sites, we know that this person is a travel enthusiast, right? They would primarily fit in your awareness bucket. Post that once they start browsing videos of resorts, right? This is when we know that they're considering a beach vacation. It could be in the near future, or it could be after a couple of months, right? So this is where they would sit within the consideration and the awareness bucket. Now, once users start comparing prices, okay, that is when they definitely come into the in-market bucket. Okay, and this is where, and you would need to reach out to users if you've got a very specific action to drive from your campaign. And you want people to, when people are looking at different kind of phones, and once they're trying to consider, should I buy a Samsung versus should I buy an LG, should I buy an Android, should I buy an iOS, this is when you'd want to reach out to them. And then once they've come to your site, right? This is where you would want to re-engage with users with dynamic content and keep getting them back to your website. Now, diving a little more into detail, like I was talking, you've got affinity targeting. Now, we've got around 80 different segments available, right? And these segments are periodically refreshed because you need to reach out to users who are in the awareness bucket, and they have a strong probability of the affinity that you're trying to target, right? I will do a demo towards the end. That is when you get a little more clarity on this. So we've got different kinds of options for you. For example, you could reach out to beauty mavens, you could reach out to foodies, gamers, right? And these are the similar segments as you reach out on TV. The next one is custom affinity segments. Right, now how this works is, this is a fairly new option that we've got in here, where you could, if your existing custom affinity does not match your specific user, you can personally define and target tailor-made user bases to reach your key audience. You can generate your own segment. You could also enter URLs that are relevant to your user, right? And then what the system would do is it would look at that and it will try to reach out to specific audiences for you. Next is in-market. So in-market is definitely an option that you would want to use when you want to target users who are in the mind frame for a purchase. Okay, again, these are similar to the custom affinity audiences, but we know that users are very, very interested in this specific product right now. Okay, because you would look at different signals. You would basically look at recency, frequency of visit, what are people really comparing? And as mentioned before, you've got different kinds of segments within in-markets that you can target to. Coming next to similar audiences, right? Now this sits heavily again in your consideration bucket. And what similar audiences works is, this is also known as the lookalike targeting, where based on your remarketing lists, we will look at the browsing activity of different users. So once you know that, hey, this is my remarketing list, and these are users, for example, who have watched a specific video on my site. So you could use that information, and the system will try to give you 5 times more audiences based on your remarketing lists. Now let's start over to the demo. Guys, can you please let me know if I should go ahead with the demo? If you can hear me, just put it on the comments in the older HOA, in the older Hangout on Air. I will wait for a few seconds. Can all of you see my screen? Okay, thank you everyone for your patience and putting in the comments. Okay, I see that someone says, please go back to in-market and similar audiences. Okay, so let me go back to that. Give me a second. Let me actually go back to this slide here so you would understand it better. Yes. So I'll just repeat this quickly for if people missed it out. So what happens normally is once users start regularly reading travel blogs, that is when we classify them as a travel enthusiast, because I know that these number of users come and periodically, once every day, maybe a couple of times a day, once every week, whatever the number, they come and they read travel blogs, right? Then what they also start doing is they browse videos of Caribbean resorts. Because, okay, if I'm planning, let's just say a beach vacation, and I want to go to the Fifi Islands, right? And right now I am in India, for example. So once I start browsing videos of Caribbean resorts, that is when I'm considering a beach vacation, right? Now, post this, what definitely will happen as a user, I will start comparing prices on travel review sites. I will start looking at, hey, what should I go to Fifi? Should I go to Koh Samui? Right? I need to look at this time of the year in the next 3 months, what is a good time to go? So the minute I start comparing prices, the minute I start doing a lot of reviews between my products, right? That is when I know I'm in the market for travel to Koh Samui or to the Fifi Islands, right? So this in-market is really, really powerful for your brand when you want to reach out to the user when they are in the right frame to look at your service or purchase your product. I hope that that I've answered the difference you wanted between in-market, right? Now, and then once the user comes to your site, that is when you start re-engaging with them to show them dynamic content tailored so that they keep coming to your website and hopefully they also convert on it. Now, similar audiences. Let me go to that slide. Similar audiences. So for similar audiences, what you actually need is your remarketing list. For example, let's just say if you are an e-commerce brand, okay, and then you've got your remarketing list for people that have bought your products. Okay, so what you need to do for similar audiences is take that specific remarketing list. Srinivas, I just saw your comment that you can see my screen, but you can't hear anything. Maybe can you refresh your screen? Because I think the others can hear. Is anyone else facing a problem where you can't hear me? For now, I'll continue, and I will definitely share the recorded version. And I hope that it has my voice recording in it. Okay, others can hear. Thank you very much, Sudarshan. Coming back to similar audiences, for similar audiences, you need to have your remarketing list. You need to have, of course, certain number of users on that list. So similar audiences looks at your existing remarketing list. It pulls up different signals, and then it uses that signal to target new users effectively. Don't worry, I will get into more details of similar audiences next week. And then I'll also have a few specialists to take us through the remarketing and the different kind of strategies we use for remarketing. So now moving on to the demo. Let me just go to my campaign. So folks, please let me know in the comment section if you can see my screen clearly. And also please change the setting to 750 HD so you can see my AdWords account. So if I just take any campaign, so now for people who haven't seen an AdWords account, you just have to select a campaign that is targeting the display network, and then you can go to the display network tab, right? And then here you can click on plus targeting. Okay, now just choose your ad group. I'm just going to take one of the ad groups. Okay, now if you see in this campaign, I already had a few display keywords in there, right? Now, what if I want to add some more targeting? And I want to use affinity targeting. And in this case, I'll say I want to look at, right? So here what you can do is you can select your category, right? So I want to look at affinity audiences where I want to reach out to customers in large numbers based on their long-term interests. Okay, now under affinity audiences, because I'm trying to do an awareness campaign, and this campaign was for investments, let me go to finance. So let me look at, let's just say, outdoor enthusiasts, right? So once I select outdoor enthusiasts, what you can also see is, the pink bubble that you have here tells you how many people are interested in this. Let me just take this off. So now my primary targeting is outdoor enthusiasts, right? I'm looking at affinity audiences. So here it will tell me that how many weekly available impressions I have, right? Of course, this is just an estimate. This is just an estimate, right? Now, if I say I'm okay with affinity audiences, but I want to look at custom affinity audiences, right? So you type that in and you can create. Do you see it says plus create custom affinity? And then you can name things, right? So if I say test one, so if I say test one, and then I'm just going to say, okay, this is just test, right? Now, for example, if I'm looking at enter interest in websites with content that your audience likes. So if I say investments, right? And then if I say food, okay? And then I can say preview custom audience. So if you look at this, it says your custom affinity audience has around 40 to 45 million cookies, right? And then this is how it would give me the breakup, right? And then I can just say save. Right. Now, the other one that I was talking about is the in-market audiences. So let me go to that. Similar to affinity that you have, it's the same kind of categories you have in here, but then the only difference is in market, we know that these users right now are in the market and they are interested in purchasing your products or service. Okay, that is the main difference between affinity and in-market, because in-market is lower in the funnel and the chances of them converting for you are higher. So if I am looking at in-market audiences, right, and let's just say for this one, I'm looking at financial services, for example. Now within financial services, I can even break it down. So I can say, okay, I'm looking specifically for credit and lending, right? So if you look at this, the right hand side graph will tell you if that number has gone up, gone down, and how does it work. So these are the different options you have under interest, which is basically affinity for your users. Okay, next week I will cover more in detail on remarketing list, customer email list, similar to remarketing list, and similar to custom email lists. So that was the demo part, folks. Let me know if any of you have questions. Ronak, I just saw your comment that that you still couldn't hear anything. I'm really sorry about that, but looks like most of the folks can hear, but a few of you may be having a few issues. Ashwarya, I just saw your comment where you say, can you go over the AdWords again? Can you let me know specifically what you want me to go over? So guys, this was the session for today. I specifically kept it very light because I only wanted to go over the audience targeting, specifically the audience targeting options which we have, which is affinity, in-market, and custom affinity. Please let me know if you have any questions. We still have a few more minutes. I can take questions for 5 minutes. Post that. If you still have questions, please put it in the comments and I will revert to all of you. Okay, Ashwarya, I see your comment. The start just after the part where you explain the in-market audiences. Okay, so let me go back to that slide. Is it this slide where I walk you through? Can you upload the video so we can watch the video again? Janice, yes. So what I will do is I will share the recording of this video with everyone who has registered. So don't worry, I will share it. Okay, so in market, right, Ashwarya, coming back to this, looks like in market is a very hot topic for today. So in market is when users send out a lot of signals, right? In this case, when I'm talking about this slide, once the user has kept reading a lot of travel blogs. Okay, just after the slide. Okay, so let me just go off. Post this slide, I just went into a little more details, which talks about affinity targeting, how it works, right? What are the affinity, how basically what it helps you do, right? Affinity helps you with reach. And these are the different kind of affinity segments that you have. Then post that is custom affinity segments, where I showed you the demo where you can put in specific combinations of the different interests that your users have, and then we will give you a split, and we will show you the split between male, female, right, unknown, demo, and how many cookies and impressions you will get on that. Post that this is in-market audiences, where again this slide just talks that you can drive higher consideration among people who are actively researching and intending to buy the product and service. I hope that has answered most of your questions. Again, folks, I cannot thank you enough for being so patient with this really basic technical glitch. This is the first time I've encountered it. So this is, of course, a big learning for me. If you folks have any more questions, please start putting it in the comment section. If you want to know for certain brands, what kind of settings would you set up, right? So for example, if primarily you're running a campaign, this is just a few questions that I have seen coming up most of the times. If let's just say you want to run primarily a campaign where you want to drive purchases, right? You've got some kind of an ROI goal for that campaign. What we would definitely suggest is, in that case, in different ad groups of that campaign, make sure you target the different in-market audiences that you have. It would also be a good strategy to have one affinity targeting in one of the ad groups, so that you can continuously reach out and build that awareness within the users. And then when people are really in the market and they want to buy the products, then you've got a different messaging for the in-market folks. You do not want to give the same kind of a messaging for a user where you're driving only awareness versus someone else who is in the market to buy a product. You definitely need to have an even more targeted approach to this user. Anyone else has any questions? I still have around 5 to 6 minutes, so I will wait for your questions if you've got any questions. So it looks like no one has any questions for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call it a day from my end for now. Okay, can you please explain? I got a question. Can you please explain about similar audiences? Okay, I will do that. So similar audiences, I'm sorry, I can't really pronounce your name that well. So similar audiences is basically when you have a remarketing list, okay, and you already reached out to, let's assume, 1,000 users on that list, okay. So you are saying people that come and watch a specific video on my site, let's just say that video is a makeup tutorial on how to use the new blush from L'Oreal. Okay, and then you say, okay, I've got these people who've come and I know that they've watched this video. So you take that remarketing list and you, in your targeting options, you put in that remarketing list and you select the option for similar audiences. So what the system will do is it'll look at your remarketing list and it'll look at signals from those and it'll try to target new users to get on that list. So this is a great way to get more audiences who are not already on your remarketing list. Don't worry, I will go a little more into detail for similar audiences next week. So, okay, folks, thank you for your patience and for your time today. I'm going to stop the Hangout now, and I'll definitely I will send out the recording for everyone. I'll send it out in the next 1 hour. And if you haven't already signed up for the remarketing session, please do so. And this is it from me. Thank you for your patience and for your time. Have a good week.